Hey everyone, welcome back to ACT Math Quick Hits, where you can make this one small change and watch these videos. It doesn't cost you any money, only costs you a few minutes of your time, and you're going to help improve your ACT math score. There's the rundown of the math section of the ACT, and let's get back into it for today. All right, so this one's a little more theoretical. It says, given the equation, the fourth root of x equals y, where y is a real number, what must be true of x? So these are always a little bit tricky just because they give so many variables and just so many explanations. So if we're taking the fourth root of some number, what that means is we're trying to figure out what number times itself 4 times gives us that value. So like if, let's just, for example, we do the fourth root of 16, right? So what number times itself 4 times gives us 16? Well, 2 times 2 gives us 4, times 2 gives us 8, times 2 gives us 16. So the fourth root of 16 is 2, right? And so notice I've tried to set this up so it's similar to the example, right? We end up with a real number over here, and like look what we had under here, right? So yes, this number is an even real number, right? 16 is real and it's even, but you could do, the fourth root of 17, right? And you would get, 2 point something. I don't know exactly what it would be. We could put that into Desmos and see exactly what it is, but you could still get a value, right? And 2 point something is still a real number. So our first one is out, right? It doesn't have to just be even. It can be even or odd. A rational number, well, yeah, again, same deal, right? We could take, the fourth root of pi, right, which is an irrational number, and we would still get some number, right? Again, we could put that in Desmos and see we would get something, I don't know, it'd be kind of small, it'd be really gross, but it would still give us a real value. An integer, so here's where it starts to kind of separate here. An integer can be positive or negative. So what ends up happening is if we take the fourth root of negative 16, what we end up is whenever we have an even root, we always end up with that imaginary case, right? So this would be 2i. So 2i is an imaginary number, right? And we are looking for a real number. So it can't be an integer because if we take the fourth root of a negative value, then it gives us I. So the best choice is this last one here, D, right? A non-negative real number, right? So we need this value to be non-negative, right? Meaning positive, and a real value. So our correct answer is D for this one. Again, Desmos doesn't really help us too much with this one, kind of understanding what's happening. We can put those numbers into Desmos to kind of check a little bit, but really we have to understand our vocabulary and what do all these things mean, right? What does a real number mean? What does a rational number mean? What does an integer mean? And then non-negative real number. So, all right, thanks for watching, everyone. I know this isn't the most exciting stuff out there, but your future self is going to thank you if you like and subscribe, because we're here to do some math, learn a little bit about the ACT, sometimes get a nice Desmos hack to help us out, but it's going to help you improve that math section of the ACT. Thanks, everyone.